Hello children, I hope you have done your unit test in a very well manner, right? So with that note, now let us move into the next part, which is the part 6 of unit 2 mechanics, which explains about pressure. Already this lesson contains the last unit, the last chapter of unit 2 mechanics, which is force, pressure and friction. In that force and friction we had already discussed in part 5. Right? Now we are moving into part 6 video, which describes about pressure. So now what we have learned already, we learned the points about force and friction, not pressure, force and friction. Now we are going to see about pressure, and in that content we are going to learn about what is the definition and meaning for pressure, how it is applied in our daily life, and some related concepts with that, and we are going to learn about atmospheric pressure also. Come, let us move into the first definition, pressure. What is pressure, right? Now when a pressure is, this is a force scale, right? Now if I apply a force here, the force is an external factor which makes a body to move or change the state of a body. This is what we had learned already, right? Now if I apply a force, I am holding it, right? Now on one particular area of 1 meter square, that is called as unit area. That is what unit means 1, right? So on 1 meter square, the square of 1 meter and length 1 meter and breadth 1 meter, right? In that area, what is the force applied? That is called pressure. So generally children, how much force is applied on an area? That is called pressure, right? So pressure is equal to force by area. Force per unit area, per means divided, right? Force by area is pressure, right? Now what is pressure now? Come on, tell me. Force applied on an area, right? That is called as pressure, right? Now what is its unit, right? Now force will have the unit Newton and area will have the unit meter square. Right, so now area Newton by meter square, so it will have the unit Nm power minus 2. Right, so pressure will have the unit Nm power minus 2 because this meter square will go up, right? So which will have Nm power minus 2. Okay, so what is the unit of pressure? Unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Now I had missed here 2, so you please replace it, right? Right. Now what is the unit of force? It is Newton. Unit of area is meter square. Right. Okay, children. Now we have another common unit called Pascal for pressure. Right. So now that common unit Pascal is named after a scientist called Blaise Pascal. So usually if a scientist does more contribution, more role in describing one concept, his name will be named for a concept, named for a quantity. So in such a way, unit for pressure is named as Pascal. Okay. So what are the units of pressure? Pascal or Newton per meter square. What is the formula? Pressure is equal to force by area. Okay, children. Now here through this formula, what we can understand? See here, pressure, force, area. Usually force is in the numerator, area is in the denominator. Now I get a chalk piece for you to explain it. Right. Now this is meter square, so this is power minus 2. Right. Now here, see here, if there is no denominator here, it is understood as 1. Right. Now we have a relationship. Numerator and numerator are directly proportional. Denominator and denominator are directly proportional. Numerator and denominator and numerator are inversely proportional. That means what, children? Already in the previous classes and all I would have explained you this. Right? If one increases, other also increases, then it is called directly proportional. When one decreases and other also decreases, it is directly proportional. If one increases, other decreases. If one decreases, if the other factor increases, then it is inversely proportional. Now that is what I was explaining you. Pressure and force are directly proportional because numerator. Pressure and area are inversely proportional because one is numerator, another one is denominator. That means what, children? If force increases, I said force applied on an area is called as pressure, right? So if force increases, pressure also will increase. If area increases, pressure will what? Decrease because pressure and area are inversely proportional. So in regard to that, we have some examples over here. Now remember very carefully, if force increases, pressure will also increase because numerator. If area decreases, pressure increase. If area increases, pressure decrease. Right? So that is what I have explained here. Pressure and force are directly proportional. Pressure and area are inversely proportional. Okay? Right. Now, some examples I have explained over here. Drawing pins. Right, children? Board pins and all we use at our home, no. So on our board we use some pins. Why to go over there? We have these nails on the wall, right? So these nails, have you seen, children? It will have one small broader base and the end will be sharper. We will hammer the nail on the broad area only, right? Why? Broader area will have more area of contact. More area means what will happen? Area is more means pressure will be less. So at that point, if we hammer it, we can give less pressure. But what about the sharp edge of the nail or the board pin? Right? Sharpness means area of contact is less. If area is contact is less, pressure will be more. Right? So we can give less pressure, so our hands will not pain. But sharper end will have more pressure so that it easily get into it, pierce through the wall, or if it is a drawing pin, it can easily pierce through the board. Okay, right now camels. Have you ever seen these camels? Where it will be? It will be in the deserts, right? So deserts, we will be feeling very tough and difficult to walk on the desert sand, but camels will walk very easily. How? Because camels will have padded feet, large padded feet, unlike our foot. Right? Our foot will be like this, but camels will have the feet like this, right? So it will have larger area. Larger area means what will happen? Pressure will be less. So it can easily give less pressure. But what about it compared with the camel's foot? Our foot will be not of that size, right? So it will be difficult for us. Right? Next one is foundation of high-rise buildings. You have apartments you can see in cities and towns, right? In our locality too. Right? When the high-rise buildings, tall buildings are there, but when you see it under construction, the base will be made very broader. Right? The foundation will be made very broader. Why, you know, children? Broad base means area will be more. If area is more, pressure will be less. So buildings can exert less pressure on the ground. Right? So even if it is an earthquake and all, the building will be safe. So the building, as it is have a larger area, pressure exerted by the building will be less on the ground. So the building will be safer. Right? Next one is turbines. Have you ever seen these porters on railway stations? Even when we common people, when we lift anything on our head, what we will do? We will fold one towel like thing and keep it on our head. Right? So to lift anything, even the village sides people will fetch water from a longer area. Very good example is porters, railway station. They have the weights on their head, right? Suitcases and all. Because instead of keeping on the bare head, they will have this turbines and keep the weight over that. Why? If they keep on the head, area of contact is less here, right? And it is not flat too, right? So we don't have a flat head here, right? So it will be like a curved one, right? So instead of that, if the area of contact is increased by keeping a turban over here, as the area is more, what will be reduced? Pressure will be reduced. So pressure on their body, the porter's body will be reduced if they wear turbans. not the wearing turbans, keeping a towel like that. Okay. Next one is more tires. This heavy trucks and all, have you ever seen children on the road? A bigger trucks which will carry things like scooters, cars and all for transportation. They will have so many wheels on their sides. Why? Right? If the base will be more, right? So the area of contact with the road will be more, so that if area is more, pressure will be less. So pressure by the truck on the road will be less. So now we have this example, I will tell you, sleepers on the train. Now railway tracks you have seen, children. So that tracks rails will be fixed on the wooden road, wooden blocks, or it may be steel blocks, right? So like this, the wooden blocks will be kept on that only these rails will be fixed, right? Why this no, children? This wooden sleepers will increase the area so that the pressure of the train on it will be spreaded. Instead, if the train is going, if that wooden sleepers are not kept, right? So the train's pressure will straightly get into the sand. The rails may, the train tracks may get damaged due to that. So if the wood is there, so the pressure can be spread out, right? So these are the daily life examples. If this question is asked in examination, even you can give so many examples from your daily life, right? Next one. Here I have told pressure is equal to force by area, no children. Here there is one other word which can be used in the place of force, which is called as thrust. What is that thrust? It is the perpendicular force. Generally pressure is force by area, but if that force acts in a perpendicular area, for example, if I apply force here, it is generally force. But if I apply a force like this in a perpendicular way, right, or else in this way, right, here, making an angle of 90 degree, then that particular force is called as thrust. Okay, perpendicular means making an angle of 90 degree. Okay, next one is a manometer. So it is an instrument which will measure the pressure of a liquid. How much pressure a liquid can exert. Now this is the picture of a manometer. You can see, even you can Google it and see, right? So in book also the picture is there. You can watch it. So it is an, right? So it is an U-shaped frame, right? U-shaped frame. Here liquid will be filled in it, where the for what liquid the pressure need to be maintained, that liquid will be filled here, right? Now so the liquid will get filled into this open tube, right? So in one column it will raise up to one particular height which is called as H1, and another particular U shape, that other side, so the liquid will get filled up to the height H2. So the difference between this H2 minus H1 or H1 minus H2, whichever greater or smaller, that will give you the difference, that difference will give you the value of pressure. Okay children, so that what instrument is that? It is manometer. Manometer will measure the pressure, right? Now we have another one. I tell you the word, you just see it. Sphygmomanometer. Spig, S-P-H-Y-G-M-O, sphygmomanometer. What is that? It is ordinary BP apparatus. Now when we go to doctors and all, they will tie some tight bands on our hand and they will measure with something, it will get tightened over here and all, no. Then they will release and they will say it is normal, high BP, low BP, like that they will say no. So that apparatus is called as sphygmomanometer. In common term we will say it as BP apparatus. In one box it will be green color tube and all. Do you remember that? Right? So that measures, that apparatus, sphygmomanometer will measure how much pressure our body blood is executing, flowing inside. With what pressure the blood is flowing. So what apparatus is that? Sphygmomanometer. Okay. Now this liquid will have some characteristics. So it's a very important question. Please understand it. Pressure at the base depends on the height of the water column. For this I have this water bottle as an example. Right. Now this liquid is this, see. We have a full liquid water bottle. Right. Now at the base there will be some liquid. Right. So now this column, full height of water, will exert some pressure, will exert some force on this particular area. How much is that is? See here, I have a smaller bottle, right? I have a taller bottle also, right? Here, pressure at the base will be lesser because the height is lesser. Here, the pressure at the bottom will be more because the height is more, right? So, what is the first point here? Depending upon the height of the liquid column, pressure at the bottom will be increased or lowered. Okay, right. Next one, liquids exert same pressure in all directions. Liquids exert same pressure in all directions. For example, right now when we have a ball of water, you all people will play, no, small kids, right? So when in a balloon, if water is filled, right? Now when we press the balloon, what will happen? Water will come out in the holes available areas, right? So what is that? Liquid will exert not only in one area, it will spread out its pressure in all directions. That is your second one. Now here, liquids exert pressure on walls. So it's a very important point. So here, this water bottle, so the surface of the water bottle is called as wall, right? Walls of the container. The liquid inside will exert some force even on the walls, right? I'll tell you a real-time example for this. Now it's a very sincere and heavy rainy season. You have seen in your news channels, dams are opened, water is let out into the sea, right? So why dams are opened means the dams will store water. See the news, right? They will say this dam is opened, that dam is opened, right? Like that they are saying no. Recently, Chennai Chandrapakkam lake, doors are opened, shutters are opened. Why no, children? That water storage areas will store water, whether it is a lake or a dam, right? But if it is filled, so if it is filled, what they will do? They cannot store more water. If they store more water, what will happen? Somewhere there will be some hole will be forced by the water, because water will exert pressure on the walls also. The storage boundaries will get broken down and that water can damage the surrounding area. So what they will do? Till the capacity they will store water, and the extra water what they will do? They will let out by opening the shutters, small shutters. Okay. So this is a real-time example. Right, next one, as depth increases, pressure also increases. So this is a very important and interesting one. For this I am going to do an activity here. Now you see here I have a water bottle and I have made 3 holes in it, right? So 1, 2 and 3. Now I am going to pour water in it, right? You are going to see through which hole water is coming out with a greater force, right? So first I will block that holes. Now I am pouring water. Right. Now see, even if I am closing, the water exerts pressure on the walls. That's why the water is getting leaked out, right? So right, now I am going to take off my fingers. Now just see through which hole, bottom or top or in middle, where the water comes out with the greater force. Now watch. Where the water is coming out with the greater force? The bottommost only, right? So then the pressure. Now the bottommost hole only have the stronger depth. Now you can see. See? Right? Now I will just retain the water. Right. Now what do you observe from this? What did you observe? The hole which is at the bottom, at the deeper area, exerts more pressure. That means what? As depth increases, as you go deeper and deeper, pressure will be more. Right? So that is what this point, as depth increases, pressure also will increase. Okay. What is the next point? At same height, same pressure is exerted. For that I have another water bottle here. Right? and I had made a hole at the same height. At one same height I had made holes, 3 holes here, 1 and 2 and 3. Right, now I am going to block these 3 holes also. Right. Now I am going to block these holes. Right, now I am going to pour the water and I am going to take off the hand also. Now you see, at the same height only I had made the holes. Now you see, at the same height is the hole is more. Before we made the hole at 3 different heights. Now we had made the holes at same height. Now you see how the water is coming out. See? Water is coming out with same force. Right? Now see, at the same time all the waters stopped its coming out. Right? Now you see this. Now what is the factor here? At the same height. So the 3 holes are made at the same height from the bottom or from the top, right? At the same height, pressure is uniformly exerted. Pressure will be same. But if depth increases, pressure will increase, right? Next one, we have one important law which is called as Pascal's law, right? So for this we have some interesting ads also in our TV. So first let us see. So now I have a full water bottle of water. See, a water bottle full with full amount of water, right? Now I am going to just loosen the tap, right? Cap. Now you see, now I am applying pressure at the bottom. Right, now what happens to the cap? So the now cap gets lifted up. Can you see? See? Can you see the movement of the cap? Now the cap is just moving. Can you see the water is also getting flowed out? Now how this happens? Now I am giving pressure at the bottom. How that pressure travels to the top? To tilt the cap. Now see, if I give more force, what will happen? See? See, the cap is easily coming out, right? So what is that factor makes the cap to dance like this? Right? So that is pressure what I apply at the bottom, right? So now force I am applying on an area which is called as pressure, which will travel uniformly. Where am I applying? Here, right? This pressure will be spread out uniformly in the liquid, and as a block of pressure only it will travel upwards. That is how the lid will be lifted up, right? So this statement, right? Pressure is exerted. See here, pressure applied on an enclosed liquid. Enclosed means what? Closed liquid, closed chamber, is transmitted equally. So it won't be more at the point where I apply, right? It will be transmitted equally in all directions. So where and how we apply this in our daily life, right? We use it in brake system, car lifting, hydraulic lift, pressing bundles. I tell you what is it, right? Now first I will say brake system. You know this cycle brake or a two-wheeler brake, right? Now how they are working? You will have one brake shoes, right? So that when we press the brakes, hand brakes or even in two-wheelers, right? Bikes and all, right? The brake shoes will go and stop the vehicles, right? Best example you can see it in your cycle. Right? So, as soon as I press my hand brakes, what will happen? The brake pads will go and stop the movement of the wheels. We will apply the brake at one point of the rim only of the wheel. But that pressure will travel throughout the rim of the wheel. So, one pressure applied at one particular area will be spread out in all areas. So, this is called as Pascal's law. Now you can ask me a question, ma'am, you said about liquids. Not only in liquids, gases also this will be used. Right? So liquids and gases combinedly they will feel this. They are called as fluids. F-L-U-I-D-S. Liquids and gases combined. Okay. Next one is car lifting. This one hand you can see in your TV children. Women's Horlicks ad. Have you ever seen that ad? Right, one girl and a mother and 2 kids will be got what is that? Without any help on the road, their car will be on repair, and this girl, the elder girl, will come and repair, and that you can see one hydraulic lift. Hydraulic lift in the sense it will be like a jack-like material, right? They will keep under the car and they lift the car with that help. A small jack will lift that heavy car. So that lift can be considered like hydraulic lift because it will contain a small liquid area inside it. But when they rotate the lever on it, the car itself will be lifted. In that gap, we can change the tire. You can see that video, right, in that ad. Right? So the small one was an hydraulic lift. When we give that pressure will be going, right, and it will be spreading out in the all bottom area of the car. So that pressure will lift the car. Nice idea, no? Right. Next one is pressing bundles. This you can see in your daily life also, children. Right? When the persons who will buy the old newspapers, used newspapers and used papers, what they will do? They arrange all the newspapers in an order and they press it either with a machine or with some other good greater force. What they will do? They just forcefully they press it with a machine so that what will do? The empty spaces in between the paper will be reduced. So the papers will be compactly packed. Right? So that pressing machine is there. Right? So that there and all we use Pascal's law. So this I have told here not only liquids and gases also this Pascal's law will use. So whatever we have learned here for liquid, all those will be true for gases also. Okay. The last one we are moving into this atmospheric pressure. Now I am standing here. This surrounding me is called as atmosphere. This atmosphere will contain so many air in it. Right? This air contains so many components like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, so many air will be there, right? Even water vapor, all those will be there. These gases will exert some pressure on us, even on table, all the objects surrounding us, right? So that pressure exerted by the mixture of gases around us is called as atmospheric pressure or air pressure, right? So pressure exerted by the components of atmosphere on every object is called atmospheric or air pressure. It is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal. I told what is the unit of pressure? Pascal. So that atmospheric pressure is equal to 10 power 5 Pascal. Now one question can be asked. That much pressure, 10 power 5 means what? You know the meaning of this 10 power 5? 10 power 5 means 1 and 5 zeros. How much is 5 zeros? Now tell me. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? 1 lakh, right? So now this much pressure is there, right? So that much pressure is exerted. Why our body is not shattered? Right? Why our body is not shattered? Because our internal body structure also, all those components, brain, heart, lungs and all the liquids inside our body, they also will exert an equal pressure. Right? So external pressure will be balanced by the internal pressure. That's why we are not getting shattered out. Right? So this is an example for it. So at higher altitudes, when we go higher and higher, altitudes means stopper, hill stations, right? When we are flying in an aeroplane, pressure will be, what happens? Pressure will be reduced. So what, for this, we will have some alternative measures, right? So that's why when we go at higher altitudes, as pressure gets decreased, we will feel difficult in breathing. And nose and all will bleed, no, right? Because outer pressure will be less. Our body pressure remains the same. So what will happen? The thin blood vessels in the nose and all will get ruptured. And so and in the higher cool areas and nose will start to bleed. Right? Now, and if you can ask me a question, in aeroplanes, if you are flying, we are flying at higher altitudes only. How pressure will be less now there? Then what they will do? They will create some, that where the people and all are sitting, they will create that artificial pressure. They will add pressure on it. The infrastructure of the plane will be made so that the pressure is automatically increased inside by using artificial measures. so that high altitude cannot affect the passengers inside. Okay, student. So now this is how pressure finds so many applications and uses in our life. So very important lesson. Learn all the concepts, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you, children.